Hello, you incredible friends. This is your pal Edwards here speaking with amazing Cristina Davy. How are you doing today, Cristina Davy?
Fantastic. So excited to be here with you. I always love a conversation with you. You're so awesome.
I love it. Now, Cristina, two things. I lost my voice before, so I got an almond chai latte to restore my voice. And also, too, I'm wearing my red top today just for you. Do you like the red top, Cristina Davy?
Absolutely. I feel like I should have wear red too. Like, what am I doing in white?
Don't worry, you got red hair. It's fine. Now, I was just going to say, right? I was going to say you are a breakup, singles, and dating expert, and we've been having. Now, as you know, I run a business network and all that. I deal with every week. I'm helping people informally deal with breakups, divorce, death, and everything. Right? I deal with it all the time, even though I'm not a specialist like you. Cristina Davy, take it from the top. Tell us all about breakups. Why do breakups happen? Why do breakups happen to good people and cause so much stress to people?
It's quite amazing. I meet so many men and women, that are going to a breakup and they just kind of blame the other person, right?
Yeah,
And it seems like there's just
I've done that.
there's a sea
I've done
of
that.
bad people out there. But the truth is that really, when we are in a relationship with someone, a lot of our old patterns are coming up, a lot of our beliefs, a lot of beliefs about ourselves, about men, women, relationships. We don't really know how to navigate conflict, really. So what happens is, like, we don't understand each other's needs, and we are so focused on what's not happening for us, that we don't really understand the other person and how is it to be the other person as well. So we create a lot of conflict by not seeking to understand really each other, but rather focusing on just our own needs.
Yeah.
So
But I think that's it, because if you've been dumped, right? Like if someone's broken up with you, you're angry, you're hurt, you might be embarrassed, right? You're the one dealing with the fallout. So it's just, in a way, it's human nature to sort of want to, you did this to me. I was the perfect partner and you left me and you caused all this embarrassment. And historically, I haven't been the best guy at handling breakups, obviously pre-Lassie and years ago. And one thing I say is, why do people have to break up so badly? Can't people break up more professionally? I wish I did back in the day. What do you think on that one, Cristina?
well, it's a way of protecting ourselves, and it's a way, the anger is helping us move on. Because if you were to be like all loving and all understanding, right, then you kind of stuck, you go back. So it's actually a lot harder to navigate a breakup in an amicable way than it is to say, you did this to me, you bastard,
Yeah.
I'm moving, I'm out of here. Because if you were to sit down and admit to some of your, how you contributed to that situation, then it's going to be like, you're going to naturally want to, lean in rather lean out. So the anger, the hurt, it's actually supporting us move on and continue with the breakup. So many people consciously choose. I actually had a conversation. I did a radio interview recently, and I had a conversation with a person there, and he was saying to me, like, I'm actually okay with being angry at my ex because it's how I'm moving away. I'm done. I'm really done. I went back and forth so many times. And it's so easy to go back because we have beliefs like, I spoke yesterday with someone else that told me, oh, I don't think I'm going to have a connection like this again. So then they go out dating and, they feel like they just lost the most important thing or the best thing they have had. So they're not really moving on. They're just going dating to confirm what they already believe, that, oh, I'll never have this connection again. I'll feel the love that I had with this other person. And then it's also hard because you had a certain connection with someone, but you didn't get to that level of connection in a date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You develop it over time. So you go on a new date with someone and you measure the new thing with what you had. And you come up short, but you forget that you have to create that connection. It doesn't just happen. Sometimes we get infatuated with someone and people people talk all the time about, oh, I didn't feel the chemistry, I didn't feel the connection. Yep. Most of the time, it's actually infatuation. Okay, so find someone you're like, wow, they look so good. Oh wow, this person is like a catch, or this.
That's not love. That is not love. That is loving someone's appearance. That is not love.
That's exactly right. That's not connected. The butterflies and chemistry you feel, it's your body response to the story you're telling yourself. Oh my gosh, I have to have this. This person is amazing. Yes, Beck, that's right. Lust. It's exactly lust, like, oh, and then you feel not good enough for this person, and then you have to change yourself and go through, try to fit in so this person likes you back because you like them so much, and then you become inauthentic, really, because you try to present yourself in a way you're not really most of the time, just because you want this person to like you back, and you keep manifesting a whole bunch of patterns, and this person is probably going to reject you because you're trying so hard. They're gonna be like, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm seeing red flags. I'm seeing neediness. That's why I'm to the other side. And you're just trying because you're so excited about this new connection, right? And then you go through the other, there's another situation. I get this, the Labrador Beck says, I love that.
Just jumping in for a second. Cristina Davy, love your work. Just want to give a big quick shout to our viewers. Steve Garrison, we love you. Beck May, Myra Fordham. If you've just come in, smash that like, share and comment. Say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you connect with Cristina Davy and myself. And we're talking about breakups and being single, right? Why do I sound like Trump there? Talking about being single. Carry on, please, Cristina Davy. That's awesome.
So then you have the other side of the coin where you go on a date and you don't really feel much connection or chemistry. So people are like, nah, I didn't feel a connection or chemistry, not for me. But often, like, if you don't know what has to happen in order for you to experience connection and chemistry, you can't really create much of it. We create so there are different things that you've got to look at it. There's the chemistry, the attraction point, there's the connection, and then there's the bonding. And many people love to go into like serious conversations right away. Right? That's not attractive. That's gonna make a sense of friendship, and you can talk with this person many things, but it's also going to bring out a lot of baggage, and most of us in our 40s have some stuff that we got to talk about. It, right?
I'm carrying I got baggage right on me now. There's my baggage on me. I got a lot more at home and in my car, but this is the sum of my baggage that I'm carrying. There we go.
So we go in too deep before we have even created the attraction. And some of the things that people don't understand is that, it's the light conversations and the lack of pressure to find the one that's actually going to create attraction.
I agree with you. And I think that whenever people get too serious and put pressure on the other person, it never goes a good way. And I just want to I love what you're saying. I want to bring up a funny contradiction that I see all the time as well, right? A lot of people will go on a date, male, female, whatever, but they'll go on a date and they'll expect the other person to tick all their boxes, right? You know where I'm going, right? I'm stealing your thunder. I don't know, I'm setting you up, but you know exactly where I'm going. Yeah, but they'll go on a date. They'll say, okay, so this man, woman, whatever, needs to do these 8 things for me, right? But they don't sit there for even 10 seconds and say, what about their boxes? Am I ticking their boxes? I see this contradiction play out day in and day out. Tell us about this contradiction. Why is this contradiction so prevalent?
Well, I think that we get everywhere on social media, there's this constant encouragement of know your worth, know your self-esteem, like you worthy. Like, okay, but you're worthy because of what? What's your uniqueness? What do you bring to the table? Are you aware? And are you sharing that, not as in like, look at me, who I am, right? But in a transparency, vulnerable way. I love helping others. I love what I do because it helps me connect. It makes me feel good to bring some
Yeah.
good in the world. Like I love gardening because when I smell and feel the plants, it makes me feel fantastic. And I bring that peace and harmony into my family. Every time I go and garden and spend 5-10 minutes, right? So it's a vulnerable way. You talk about yourself in a way that it's positive, and
Mm.
it's heart to heart, and then they see the value. But many people just don't have the ability. They don't know how to talk about themselves. They don't know how to
Mm.
make conversation on a date. They
Yeah.
don't know how to create that attraction. They're not aware of their needs. Many people don't have awareness about what they want. There's so much emphasis on a man
Yeah.
being the provider,
Yeah.
right? And we forget, for example, as women, that we have much higher needs than that, which is emotional needs. The need to feel heard, the need to feel seen,
Mm.
validated, accepted, understood, sense of belonging. And you could have the money and not have all this stuff. You're going to be miserable. You're going to have your
Yeah.
product and I don't know, whatever else brands, and go in Bali or Disneyland, and you're going to feel completely miserable and angry at your partner, and your kids are growing up in that energy.
Yeah.
They have the beautiful house, they go to private schools, and yet they're not being validated as people, and you don't feel validated as person. So understanding, like, and talking about what I'm bringing to the table too,
Yeah.
not, hey, look, what I bring to the table is this, but talking, sharing about
Yeah.
yourself, that creates connection.
Yeah.
Sharing
And,
creates.
and, and I just want to jump in there too, Christine. I want to go back a little bit. I want to talk to you about breakups, right? We deal with people who are breaking up all the time, right? And breakups, of course, can be really distressful. What are your tips for helping people deal with breakups? So they've just been dumped or they've done the dumping, whatever. How do you work through a breakup as best and as quickly as possible?
Well, the best solution would be to hire a coach. 100%. There's
Yeah.
no.
So step number one is go hire Cristina Davy, right? So
Absolutely.
obviously hire Cristina Davy. And
You
once they've hired, in addition to hiring Cristina Davy, what do you say to someone to recover from a breakup?
So the first, you need to acknowledge what you're feeling. All right. So there
Yeah.
will be certain feelings, emotions that come up for you, and also there will be certain beliefs that are not necessarily supporting what you want to experience. So, acknowledging our feelings and finding a way to release them. Okay. So there's so
Mm.
many is now to release your emotions, because those emotions stay in your body, right? I use timeline therapy
Mm.
to release. You're training it to, how powerful it is, right? And by releasing the anger, the betrayal, when
Mm.
I divorced from my husband, I feel so betrayal, and I brought that with me in my next relationship.
Yeah.
So every time the guy was doing something, it wasn't just about him, it was about my
Yeah.
husband, about, the guy before my husband,
Yeah.
and you got to find a way of actually really releasing those emotions. Then you got to start, yes, it's true, you got to start focusing on yourself by fulfilling your needs. What do you need? Do you need some time alone? Do you need
Mm.
some family? Go and connect. The best thing to do is connect with others, get involved in projects. You need to stay focused on something else. I'm not talking avoidance, I'm talking a conscious decision. You acknowledge, I am where I am, I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and
Yeah.
I'm choosing to do some things that will help me move on.
Exactly. Just jumping in there, I think it's really good. It's very good to acknowledge what you're feeling. If you're feeling like, for example, before I met Lassie, right, way before I met wonderful Lassie, I was engaged to another woman who really ditched me and embarrassed me. And I remember the feelings I was going through. My number one feeling was shame and embarrassment.
Yes,
So
I was, yeah.
so for me, and it was quite public what happened. So I was the laughing stock, right? So for me, embarrassment was the number one emotion. It took me a while to accept that. It's like, hang on, I've been humiliated, which I was, right? And I need to accept that I've been humiliated. And I think accepting the loss can be quite difficult. You know, you sort of, what's the old saying in sports? You got to take that L so you can move on. And it took me a while to accept the L. Yeah, Ed, you lost. Yes, Ed, you've been humiliated. And it's okay. You need to get back on the field and have another shot. What do you think of that sort of reasoning and focus?
100%. There's so much guilt that comes up and shame that comes
Yep.
up usually with the breakup. And I was the same. The fear of failure, you know, the fear of, oh my gosh, I have failed again, right?
Yep. Another relationship could put, what the hell's wrong with me? Yep. I was embarrassed, humiliated, and I was angry. I was frustrated. Like, what the hell? I never signed up for all this crap. Why is this happening to me? That's how I felt.
Yeah, and fear of what others think, think about you, right? There's that fear of judgment, of people's opinion. And it comes with the fear of, am I going to be loved? Am I going to be liked? No, do people still want to talk to me? Because especially if you're the one that did let's just say you cheated or you done the wrong thing, perceived the wrong thing, right?
Whatever it is.
Even if you didn't, you still fear people's opinion. Because, you know, I fear what people will think about me as a single mother. I thought I had so much shame about being single with a child. Who's gonna want me? Who's gonna want me with a young child? Right? Like it's all sort of different stuff that come up for us. And those are stories that we believing. Even if we tell ourselves the opposite, they sit with us because we have the energy of it still in our body. So it's ideally what we need to do, as I said earlier, acknowledge, validate what you're feeling. It's okay to feel. It's safe to feel. And then do the things that will help you feel what you want. If you want to feel connection, joy, laughter, give yourself permission to go out there and create that. People get an identity after a breakup. And that's of a depressed person or someone who is in too much pain or someone, and they don't allow themselves to do the things that will change how they feel. If they suffer from anxiety, the anxiety of going through the divorce, the anxiety of going through the breakup, you know, they're not doing the things that will build the confidence. And most of the time they don't understand even why they're lacking confidence. There's judgment around going on a date. When I separated from my fiancé 2 years ago, people were asking me, didn't you love him? How can you start dating so soon? And I said, of course I love him. Dating other people, it's part of moving on.
Yeah.
But there's so much judgment around that.
Yeah, it's like the whole rebound concept. Like, to me, I think rebound is a stupid concept. It's sort of like, who said, so let's say, I don't know, you've been dumped, right? Someone's ditched you, right? Who said you had to wait X number of days till you start another relationship? What if you get dumped and tomorrow you meet the love of your life? Should you say no because some idiot on the internet says you need to wait 62 days? I don't think so.
I think it's important to be honest with where you are. So if you're not ready if you're right after a separation, just be honest and say, hey, I'm not ready to jump into another long-term thing.
Which is
that
awesome.
Doesn't mean you can't date people. That doesn't mean you can't just have fun as you date, like just go out and enjoy some dinners, have sex if this is what you want, or holding hands, have the company of someone, like we gotta move away from this preconceived ideas of how things will do. And the fact, my favorite of all, not really, time will heal. Time,
no, not at all. Time can actually make things. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think there's just so much misinformation out there on dating and relationships. And the biggest thing I find quite funny, and I say this all the time, I'm going to sound like a bit like a dude here, but I love how men, women, doesn't matter, right? But you always get one person that has this big checklist on what they want in a relationship, but they could not give a shit about, are they meeting the needs of the other person's checklist? They don't care. It's like, this is my checklist, you got to fill it. It's like they're going to Woolworths, right? They don't actually care about the checklist of the other person. It's just it's not even an afterthought. It doesn't even enter their realm of consciousness. That's the big contradiction that I see that frustrates me.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Listen, I agree with having a checklist. I think it's really important to have
Oh,
clarity about what you want in a person. Without that, you end up in a
oh,
lot of wrong relationships.
exactly. And just jumping in there, I think checklists are awesome. But if you're going to run around with a checklist of what you want in a relationship, it's reasonable to say, "Hi, what's your checklist, and how many out of 10 am I meeting of your needs?" You don't see that very often. It's a very one-way sort of process, which I think is terrible. It's not very fair, that sort of process.
I told my partner in the past, a few times, I said, I don't think I'm the right woman for you. So I didn't say,
Okay.
hey, you're not the right guy for me. It's just that if you want to retire early, and go traveling, I'm not up for that. Like I am
Yeah.
on a mission, I am
Yeah.
like looking into working until I die, I
Yeah.
am
Yeah,
like
good
this.
for you.
He was someone completely different because I didn't when he started describing what he wanted in a woman,
Yeah.
it resonated with who I am. So I was not meeting his checklist, and I
Yeah.
said, I don't think this is me, which
Yeah.
is okay. But then he actually had to sit with and realize he was going automatically based on what he was programmed to think. Oh, you
Yeah.
reach a certain age and you retired. So many
Yeah.
people do that.
Yeah.
Well,
Just jumping in there, can I just jump in there for a second? I was able to retire in my early 30s. It sucks. So to anyone who thinks once you retire, no, retiring sucks. I just want to let everyone know that. Never retire. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
so, it's again when you go on a date, remove. I teach this in my group program, Love Map.
Yeah.
Remove that pressure to find the one. Go on a date to actually, with the understanding that I am creating what I'm experiencing. I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm not gonna go on a date and somebody might be so shut down or
Yeah.
so unaware that it's going to make it very hard to create anything. Okay, yes, of course there are a lot of people that they are where they are in their journey,
Yeah.
but understanding that don't go on a date and expect the other person to be fun. If you want to have fun, if you want to laugh, create that with that person.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm a big fan of you get back what you put out. I've always said that, right? So if you're dating someone and you're being judgmental and you're applying a checklist to them, you can't be unhappy when they do the same thing back to you, right?
Yeah.
If you're going
Yeah.
there in good faith and being nice to them, they're probably going to be nice back to you. And I think it's one of the big things because I'm all for checklists, but there has to be a bit of give and take here. You have to work with someone. And again, if you hit someone over the head with a checklist and they do the same thing back to you, you've got no right to complain about it.
That's right. And what I'm observing as well is a lot of people that are focused on that checklist, but also, they're not really emotionally, okay?
Yeah.
They are carrying still a lot of hurt from the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those breakups can really drain us. They really can put us in a place where we are unable to really create something with someone else. So, we also, some people go on dates and they don't have the experience, so they are quick to decide dating sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. But they are willing to, as parents, keep going in their career, to keep going in their business, they keep going. But when it comes to love life, there's this misconception that, it hurts, I can't go through this again.
Yeah.
And they're taking decisions that are literally stopping them from finding that, connection again and relationship. And people lose confidence. They lose their self-esteem in breakups, as well.
Yeah. Now, well said. I got to say, Cristina Davy, love your work. We've almost at 25 minutes. A big thank you to our viewers. Smash that like, share, comment. In winding things up, Cristina Davy, please give us a closing thought. Tell us about your workshop, and appreciate you, Cristina.
Well, tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Sydney time, I think it's going to be the 10th of April, right? So I'm having a masterclass. It's absolutely free. It's open for men and women, and it's really in place to support you build your confidence. If you want to build your dating confidence, if you want to uncover your dating confidence blocks, if you want to understand the roots, of your self-doubt or low self-esteem, if you want some practical steps in how to build your dating confidence and raise your self-esteem, then join me for this masterclass. It's from 7:30 to 9 p.m., 1 hour and a half of pure gold. Okay, come join me. I'm going to have the link in the comments. Otherwise, if you can't make it, just contact me. Just send me a message. If you're going through a breakup and you're feeling completely miserable, if you feel like you can't move on from your ex, if you feel like you don't hope you're finding love again, please understand it doesn't have to be this way. I met my partner 9 months after I was in a domestic violence situation and after a 2.5 years of on and on toxic relationship. But I had to work. I had to really sit down and look at myself first and change some stuff.
Yeah, and your partner's a good-looking guy, if you don't mind me saying, Cristina Davy.
I agree 100%.
I'm not gay or nothing, just saying. But no, it's really good. I gotta say.
Anyway. Not just a pretty face, let me just say that.
Okay. Anyway, I love your work, Cristina, and friends, you've heard it. And just so you know as well, Cristina Davy's a great friend of ours, great friend of the channel, a member of our community. She is a woman you can trust. And again, any dating relationships, reach out to Cristina. Cristina Davy, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And to our fans around the world, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Edward. Great to see you. I really appreciate your support. I love you and Lassie and your work. You got the best business networking meetings, absolutely online and face to face. If you want some support with your business, you got to connect with Edward and Lassie. Otherwise, you're gonna kick yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, everyone. Stay awesome, friends. Love your work and keep